Hello and welcome to Might Be Awesome. My name is Sam Basher.
I'm DJ Wooldridge.
And we're going to be diving into Marvel Phase 4. We're talking movies, TV shows, casting, directors, the whole gambit.
No
Some
gambit.
Good.
No
gambit.
gambit. No
Sorry,
gambit. Yeah,
really quick.
yeah,
No
gambit.
100% no gambit as of right now. So first up, let's do a quick rundown of the entire release calendar for their shows and their movies. First up, Black Widow, of course. We kind of knew about this, but the official announced release date is May 1st, 2020, followed by The Eternals, November 6th, 2020. Then we get our first Disney Plus series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, in fall 2020. Make sure you get that Disney Plus subscription. It will be worth it, probably, hopefully. After that, we're going to be getting Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This is fan-freaking-tastic on February 12th, 2021, followed by WandaVision in spring of 2021 on Disney Plus. This will follow the adventures of a dead robot and Elizabeth Olsen. Yeah. Followed by, in spring 2021, Loki, with my favorite logo out of all the things that were announced.
It's just the most.
But favorite title out of all of these is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's May 7th, 2021. Followed in the summer with What If? That will be coming to Disney Plus. Following that will be Hawkeye solo series, where he trains a new successor to the role of Hawkeye.
And that'll be in fall 2021.
Yes, on Disney Plus. Finally, for the end, air quote, of Phase 4, Thor, Love and Thunder, November 5th.
My favorite logo,
2021.
And finally, we got Blade, which does not have a release date yet. But let's dive into the details on these movies. As you mentioned before, Black Widow is coming out May 1st, 2020, and we have an official cast for that. That's David Harbour as Alexei, who is the Red Guardian from the comics, who's kind of like the Captain America for Russia. We have Florence Pugh, who's playing Yelena, and general consensus seems to be that that is the Yelena that is the second Black Widow in Marvel Comics. And it seems that her and Natasha have a sisterly relationship. Rachel Weisz is playing Melina, and that seems to be the character known as Iron Maiden from the comic books. And Oti Fagbenle is Mason, who it seems to be is kind of a love interest for Natasha. And also Taskmaster has been revealed to be a villain, probably the villain, although there was no casting for that. If I was a betting man, it seems like they're setting up a mystery behind Taskmaster, who it is behind the mask. I'm going to bet it's going to be revealed to be OT. Just throwing that out there.
Also, if you want to check out Andy Park, one of the main visual developers and concept artists for Marvel, released an image of one of the versions of Taskmaster for the Black Widow movie. It looks pretty cool.
It looks really cool.
It looks basically in line with if you saw the Avengers Square Enix game or the Spider-Man PS4 game. Any version of that Taskmaster, it looks shot for shot, basically that, but he's got a very cool mask for the Black Widow movie.
Synergy, baby.
Very excited for all of these characters that are going to be in this movie. Also, we know that at least part of the movie is going to be set in Budapest, because we've heard that name, that city, too many times whenever Black Widow pops up on screen, and this is supposed to be taking place before Avengers Endgame. Thank God we don't need any resurrections or anything like that.
So it's going to be after Civil War, but before Infinity War, right?
What a great place to play around it.
And it's going to be directed by Kate Shortland, known for Berlin Syndrome, and she's also directed a bunch of episodes of Smilfs.
Now, after that, we hop into The Eternals.
Buckle up, everybody.
We've got so many questions, but let's go through the casting first. Richard Madden is going to be playing Icarus, which is arguably one of the most famous of the Eternals.
This asset, any asset that we could have picked to throw up here, that character in the foreground, that's Icarus.
Followed by Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo, Lauren Ridloff as Makari, Brian Tyree Henry, a big fan of him on Atlanta and in Spider-Verse. We'll be playing Phastos, you know, the kid's favorite. Followed by Salma Hayek, which is an amazing casting, as Ajax. We also have Leah McHugh as Sprite, and one of our favorite surprise castings for this film, Dong Seok Ma from Train to Busan will be playing Gilgamesh, or the Forgotten One.
And apparently he's supposed to be the antagonist, which has led to some questions on whether we'll see the Eternals' famous antagonist.
The question mark. There you go. Which would tie back to Thanos. And we have heard that Thanos would be mentioned maybe in some way in the Eternals.
Yeah.
But also the biggest big name AAA title for this film, we actually have Angelina Jolie joining the MCU as Athena, and she's going to be the somewhat leader for the Eternals, as was what it seems like right now. I know there was some people that were upset because they're big Eternals fans that Cersei is not in this.
She's joined the Avengers at times. So it is interesting that she is not listed here. However, Millie Bobby Brown is apparently been cast for this movie, but did not get an announcement at this panel. So who knows?
Now, Richard Madden actually gave a summary of the Eternals. The Eternals are a race of immortal aliens sent here by the Celestials to protect us from the Deviants.
Which implies that we will be seeing the Deviants. So I guess we'll have to wait till November 2020 to find out.
Speaking of Celestials, there's actually some concept images that they put out of them flying over space, and they do
looks really cool.
Look really cool. It's a good mix of a more modern take, but clearly inspired by Kirby's original art. Jack Kirby, the man who created the Celestials and the Eternals. So If you guys are a big fan of his artwork that popped up in Thor Ragnarok, get excited. This movie will be directed by Chloe Zhao, who's famous for The Writer and Songs My Brothers Taught Me. Let's talk about our first series. I know you're particularly excited about this one.
Of the series, this is the one that excites me most because I'm a big fan of both The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they will be getting their Disney Plus show in fall of 2020. During the announcement, Baron Zemo himself, Daniel Bruhl, showed up and put on the iconic Baron Zemo mask. So I'm glad we're going to be getting that.
I did hear in an interview that Anthony Mackie did try on a version of a Captain America outfit, and he's very excited about it. And also seeing him excited about it made me excited about it.
Yeah. I will say this. I do like that it's called The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I think it might be cool if Anthony Mackie keeps the Falcon title while wielding Cap's shield, because I've always been a big fan of the Falcon, and I don't know that he needs to take on the Captain America name while carrying on the legacy.
If he represents his own interpretation of what Captain America means in a more modern world,
but still having his own personal unique identity, I think would be interesting if they decide to do that.
I think that's pretty cool. Speaking of unique, let's talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Great title.
February 12th, 2021, Simu Liu is going to be playing Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu from Marvel Comics. Also, the real Mandarin, not Ben Kingsley pretending to be someone that Aldrich Killian, a.k.a.
It sort of
It was a little confusing, but in All Hail the King, the Marvel short, there is a meeting between Ben Kingsley and some thugs, we'll say, that seem to hint that there is a real Mandarin out there.
Yeah,
we just never met him.
Too happy with Trevor Slattery, who was the actor that portrayed him. And recently, Kevin Feige's been dropping hints that we'll be seeing the real Mandarin, and it makes a lot of sense that he would be the antagonist here. Traditionally, in the comics, Shang-Chi is closely associated with the pulp villain Fu Manchu, who was an inspiration for the Mandarin. So I think the Mandarin's just going to fill that role. I'm personally excited to see a more classic version of the Mandarin because I think he's a very interesting villain. And it's cool since Shang-Chi doesn't have a very famous rogues gallery, let's say, that he's getting this villain. But also,
Awkwafina will be starring in a role in this film, and after seeing The Farewell, it's going to be exciting to see how she's utilized in this movie. I'm going to guess in a more comedic fashion, but if she also gets to do some action as well, I won't be too upset. But this cast is stacking up to be pretty impressive.
Yeah, we should also mention that the Mandarin is being portrayed by Tony Leung, and it is being directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who's best known for Short Term 12.
Very exciting. But following that, in spring 2021, we have WandaVision, and here's a logo for that.
Yes.
And I honestly still kind of was waiting to see if that was just a template name, but it's not.
It did seem like a stand-in name.
No, but this TV show will be starring Scarlet Witch and Vision, played by Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen. But we will be joined by Teyonah Parris, who will portray an adult Monica Rambeau, who we met as a child in Captain Marvel.
Yeah. And it's interesting that she's showing up in this because that Monica Rambeau is not traditionally associated with Scarlet Witch or Vision. She's more associated with Captain Marvel. However, Jack Schaefer will be the showrunner of the show, and he's a writer of Captain Marvel. So I would hazard a guess that that might be why that character's showing up.
Monica Rambeau does have a relationship with both of those characters as friendly more recently in the Avengers No Roads Home and No Surrender runs. And famously, Monica Rambeau has been Captain Marvel in the comics, but most recently Spectrum. That's probably the version you're going to see. I'm not sure how her relationship will kind of factor into this show, but we do know it has a 1950s like Art Deco styling to the show, whatever that turns out to be, very similar to Tom King's Vision series, possibly. But we'll have to wait and see until we get some set images or promo images to figure out what exactly this show is supposed to be.
They've also said it's going to be very weird, and I personally am curious to see if maybe Wonder Man will factor in this somehow, because he has a complicated relationship with Scarlet Witch in the Vision.
To put it lightly.
Yeah.
Following that, we get Loki, the solo series for the infamous anti-hero / he did murder a bunch of people in New York.
Oh no, Thanos took over his mind. It wasn't him.
Yeah, sure. And also, quick shout out to all the memes that spun out of this logo. We've heard that this is supposed to take place in multiple time periods. That's
so maybe
why it's
each one is a different time period or
each
something?
letter. You got to collect all the letters. If you put the letters together, you get the Infinity Gauntlet, probably something like that.
It's also strange that this is one of the later series we're getting, even though it's the first one we heard about.
Very true. This will be showrun by Michael Waldron, and really, all we know is that specifically this Loki is the one that escaped in Endgame with the Tesseract when they did all the time travel shenanigans.
And so this is supposed to be what comes after that.
But after that, and we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is May 7th, 2021. That's the release date. Benedict Cumberbatch will be returning, as well as director Scott Derrickson. This will also star Scarlet Witch, and the events of WandaVision will directly tie into this movie. So that's cool that the TV shows finally matter.
Yeah, these specific TV shows on Disney Plus matter.
What Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? No.
But I do like that Scarlet Witch is being utilized in this. I think that's a smart place to put her. And Scott Derrickson even said this is the first scary MCU movie. We'll see what that means exactly.
I wouldn't mind, if we're going through the multiverse and it's all supposed to be scary properties, seeing Marvel Zombies for just a second.
Great. Love that idea. I also say I'm interested because we're dealing with the multiverse, and this is supposed to lead directly from WandaVision, and weirdly WandaVision is supposed to be after Endgame.
Yes.
So maybe Wanda is trying to bring Vision back and causes shenanigans.
Ooh, big fan of that.
Yeah. But following that, the thing that actually might excite me most out of all of these announcements is What If in the summer of 2021 on Disney+. It is an animated series. It will be narrated by Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher. He'll be kind of like the Crypt Keeper figure that introduces all of these stories. And a bunch of returning stars are coming back to voice the animated versions of their characters, including Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Hemsworth, Haley Atwell, Chadwick Boseman, Karen Gillan, Jeremy Renner, Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, Neil McDonough, Dominic Cooper, Sean Gunn, Natalie Portman, David Dastmalchian, Stanley Tucci, Taika Waititi, Toby Jones, Jaimin Hansu, Jeff Goldblum, Michael Rooker, and Chris Sullivan. And I think the one that interests me most is Michael B. Jordan is listed here as well, which makes me hopeful that we'll get What If Killmonger was King of Wakanda, something like that. I think there's a lot of potential for this. I love that it's animated because it gives them more flexibility. It allows them to do crazier stories without having to spend the massive amounts of money it would take to actually assemble this cast into one room.
First up, we're going to be getting What If Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum.
Love it.
Super on board.
So excited.
And I think what people are attaching to that story is Howard Stark makes Steve Rogers his own suit, similar to an Iron, like a retro 1950s Iron Man suit. So cool.
Yeah.
Super on board.
And if all the stories are kind of like that, tremendously excited.
But I'm also very excited for Hawkeye's solo series, fall 2021 on the Disney Plus app. I know there's jokes aplenty for Hawkeye, but based on the logo and the fact that we're going to be getting Kate Bishop, the other Hawkeye from comics, it looks awful lot like Matt Fraction's run with David Aja, and I'm a big fan of that run.
They also said that this will explore more of his time as Ronin, which will be interesting.
They also talked about him training Kate to be a hero in a world where there are powers, and I always like that aspect of his character.
There is no casting yet for Kate Bishop, but fans are super excited to see her introduced into the MCU. Fans are also super excited to see the integration of a very popular recent Thor storyline in Thor Love and Thunder. Again, logo looks so cool.
So cool. And great name.
Yeah.
And Taika Waititi's back. I'm so happy, and I'm excited that Valkyrie will be back, and it's been confirmed that she is LGBTQ. That was a storyline that was in Thor Ragnarok, but that scene got cut.
But cool that she's going to be able to represent that here. And Tessa Thompson specifically said that Valkyrie is looking for her queen, as she's now the ruler of Asgard on Earth.
And new queen could possibly be Natalie Portman, since she's returning to the MCU proper as Mighty Thor. Most recently, Jane Foster in the comics, while she was going through chemotherapy, she was drawn to the hammer that Thor was not worthy to pick up anymore. She was able to take up the mantle of Thor for a long time. The idea of Natalie Portman playing that specific role as Mighty Thor is super exciting.
Now, the other big thing, the big showstopper that they ended on, was that Blade will be returning. He will be integrated in the MCU, and he has been cast by Mahershala Ali. My favorite part about this story is apparently after Mahershala Ali got his second Oscar with Green Book, he called Marvel up and he's like, yo, I want to be Blade. And they're like, cool. And that's it. That's the story. That's how this whole thing came about. Now, currently, there's no release date, and there's no real concrete confirmation whether this is a movie or a Disney Plus series. General consensus seems to be that it will be a movie, which makes sense. But theoretically, it could be a Disney Plus series. We don't know yet. I don't know if they know yet. Although interviews with Kevin Feige has said they've got things planned out through Phase 5, and they were debating whether they should announce all Phase 4 and Phase 5 right now. So
I wouldn't mind.
Who knows? As much as I love Wesley Snipes, and as much as part of me is like, just keep him as Blade. If you had to change it up, you'd be hard pressed to do better than Mahershala Ali in anything ever.
Mm-hmm. And also, he's got 2 Oscars. He's got some pull right now.
He does have some pull and some traction. The idea that we might be able to see Blade and Doctor Strange team up, and maybe they'll introduce some MCU Ghost Rider, and we might get the Midnight Suns, is nuts to me. Not only that, though, there was confirmation that we are getting Black Panther 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Captain Marvel 2. However, there were no dates revealed for that.
Plus, they also mentioned, like
In
Kevin
passing.
Feige, after an hour and a half of a presentation, needs to run to the bathroom. So he's like, oh, by the way, Fantastic Four, they're going to be popping up in the MCU very soon. And specifically, he said, we have no time left to talk about mutants. So how are the X-Men going to be incorporated? But they will be. I'm guessing that's what Phase 5 is. Next year's Comic-Con, keep your eyes peeled.
Well, I will also say that I don't know that this is the entirety of Phase 4. IGN asked Kevin Feige the specific question of this is the entirety of Phase 4, and he responded with a line from Endgame, you wanted more, which is him being cheeky and cagey. However, I think it's worth pointing out that most of the Marvel phases are usually 3 to 4 years, and this was only 2020 and 2021. And with the announcements of Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Captain Marvel 2, I would imagine those are going to be part of Phase 4. And also, based on the teaser at the end of Far From Home, I would be surprised if we don't get a third Spider-Man movie, which rumors have suggested that might be where we see Deadpool and that might be where we start getting the X-Men integrated in.
That'd be very exciting. And also, I understand why Spider-Man might be taking a longer break, because over the past 4 years, Tom Holland has done 4 Spider-Man or Avengers films, so he might be tired.
Yeah, you might want to take a nap.
That's everything, guys. If you want us to do a deep dive into any of these movies or any fan theories, we've got our own that would be very fun to kind of like rip apart and get into the nitty gritty. Let us know what you're most interested in the comments down below, and also let us know what you think of this new format for video, and make sure you share in these videos with everyone who likes nerdy stuff. I'm Sam Basher at Sam Basher everywhere that matters.
I'm DJ Wooldridge at DJ Talks Trash.
At Might Be Social everywhere that matters. Only Stupid Answers or Might Be Social. OnlyStupidAnswers.com for our podcast, and also go to patreon.com/OnlyStupidAnswers for It's our anime series. We watch an anime series or movie a week for the first time, and boy howdy, we have watched some really cool and weird stuff, so don't miss out. But make sure you like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.